Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An episode of the short-run Stan Freberg Show. This episode about the Uninterrupted Melody, originally broadcast September 1st, 1957.
This is the 8th show of the series, of a brand new radio series.
From Hollywood, we present the Stan Freberg Show.
With the music of Billy May.
Plus the songs of Peggy Taylor with Doris Butler, June Foray, Peter Leeds, and the Judd Conlon Rhythmaires.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you on RADI. Oh. Thank you very much. And to start us off tonight, we've invited back for the second time on our show the Zazzaloff family. As we told you, they're Swiss. This way, we didn't offend anyone. This is probably one of the finest acrobatic acts in the business, and rather a novelty on radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zazzaloff family! Here they go, ladies and gentlemen. It's magnificent to see. I wish you could see it. And they're bouncing up in the air. Look at that. Why, he's holding them up in the air by one. Hey! Very good. And now wearing purple tights. And look at that. My goodness, that's amazing. 18 men, ladies and gentlemen, on one end of a... Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. And now on with the show.
Hey, Stan?
Well, what is it, Dawes Butler, as they say in radio?
What are we going to do next?
Well, I'll tell you, Dawes, I was wondering the other day.
Wondering what?
How the good humor men stand it. Can you imagine driving an ice cream truck around all day long, let alone all summer long, with the same song flailing you about the ears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often do they change that song, I wonder?
I don't know.
Gee, those chimes would drive me nuts.
Yeah, what song do you hear most often?
London Bridge is Falling Down. How about you?
I hear London Bridge quite a bit. Pop Goes the Weasel is very big on our street. Let's write a screenplay about it, okay?
Okay, and let's have the titles appear on ice cream bars.
That's good, that's good.
20th Century Freberg presents Uninterrupted Melody. This is the story of men in uniform, their loves, their hopes, their dreams, and of the task to which they have so devoted their lives. Yes, to that gallant corps of heroes, the good humor men of America, is this picture respectfully dedicated. Do you know what it's like, after having a day off with the family, to try to sleep on the night before you report back for action? Do you know what it's like to lie there and live with fear? Charlie Krasmeyer knows.
Charlie, what are you doing?
I'm lying here living with fear.
Well, try and get some sleep, sweetheart.
Yeah. I'm just lying here thinking about tomorrow.
Well, you just mustn't lie there thinking about tomorrow.
Tomorrow, it's Pop Goes the Weasel and hundreds of grimy little hands reaching out for ice cream bars. Walter Yoder cracked up last week. I saw him when he took him away, Sue. It wasn't pretty.
Oh, hush.
Are you sorry you married a good humor man?
Oh, Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no.
Are you sure? No? Are you sure it wasn't just the glamour of the uniform and all?
Charlie, I'd love you whether you had that white coat or not.
Yes, men like Charlie Krasmeyer know their job is no easy one, but they live with it, and they report for duty every day at the plant, where their boss, the Chief Commander F.C. Barr, is just now entering the building. He opens the door and confronts a small, bald man with horn-rimmed spectacles who looks up from the piano.
Green?
Morning, Commander.
Yes, what's going on around here? That's all I want to know, Green. I heard one of our trucks over in Westwood playing hound dog.
But,
Listen, I had that truck taken out of service immediately. Nursery songs, that's all I want to hear. They don't cost us anything.
But FC, the men get punchy from nursery songs. They're cracking up out there.
Cracking up, you say? Nonsense. Every American loves nursery songs. Besides, they're free.
Yeah, but...
Maybe you'd like to go back to television and write Briar Patch Leg jingles.
Okay. That's my sore spot. Say, here's a little thing I've been working on this morning. Now, how does this strike you? The three little kittens, they lost their mittens, and they began to cry, meow, meow.
Wait a minute.
Meow,
Hold it. Hold it. Sure you aren't using a Castellanets arrangement?
Positive.
It's good. Ah, yes. One of our more enthusiastic salesmen, I see.
A cute ward for 3 days now. He came in last week.
Get him out of here. Take him out. He's too enthusiastic. Get him out. From the acute ward, you say?
Yeah, poor devil. I know him. His name is Heiniger.
He had the nerve to ask me to take him off London Bridge and put him on Yankee Doodle 2 weeks ago. He had a month to go yet. That's the trouble with labor today. Wishy-washy.
That's right, FC.
You bet that's right. Now get back to work. I got an employee pep meeting in 5 minutes.
This is the briefing room, where every morning 200 white-coated, good-humor men sit glumly staring into space, horribly calm, not daring to think about the day ahead of them, only anxious to get the job done.
All righty, men. Yes. Thank you for that splendid ovation. Let's stand up and sing our little song now, and let's sing it like we were in a good humor, eh? Yes. Humor, yes, we are good humor. That is not no rumor. Yay, bo, music, how we love the music. That's fine. Lovely nursery music, tinkling as we go. Earplugs, we won't wear at all, or we will be sentenced to 100 days of Yankee Doodle. Push the tutti frutti, sell it by the udel. Good humor, we love you, yay. Well, that was fine, just fine, man. You can tell a real GH man every time, I always say. You know, you don't eat our bars with your fingers. There's a stick to it. Well, man, that's the key to successful selling. Stick to it, right? Yay. Yes, ice cream salesmen are the backbone of this nation, if you ask me. You men keep up the good work, and one day soon, I'll have your chimes tuned. You see if I won't. No, I won't hold you, because I know you're anxious to get out in the field. Pardon me, Mr. Barr, sir. Well, Charlie Kransmeyer, what is it? I've been on Pop Goes the Weasel for 3 weeks now. Could I please trade with Jones here? He's got 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. You know the rules, Kransmeyer. The cycle's 8 weeks. I can't stand Pop Goes the Weasel. I come home at night, I can't sleep. All night long I hear a penny for a spool of thread, a penny for a needle. I'm sick of it. Sick.
Oh, now, let me have his song, sir. I like Pop Goes the Weasel, honestly.
Nonsense. Pop Goes the Weasel is Kransmeyer's assignment. Just for that outburst, Charlie, you can't have 4 and 20 blackbirds at all. When your time is up, you'll get the farmer in the dell. Not the farmer in the dell! I had that last cycle!
What are you doing here?
Get back in your seat, sir.
Do we get earmuffs or don't we?
Well, we can talk about it.
You mean talk about it?
Put me down! This is mutiny!
Oats, peas, beans, and barley grow. Oats, peas, beans, all nursery songs, nuts. I am the laughing stock of Robbins, Feist, and Miller. I gotta get away from this. I'll just take a shortcut through the parking lot here. Hey, that's funny. Somebody left their motor running. What's this? Somebody bound and gagged in the front seat. Heavens to popsicles! FC, it's you! And somebody's tied greasy ropes around your nice brown suit. FC, that ain't no brown suit. You've been dipped. Let me get that gag out of your mouth there. Oh, gee, boss, you got little bumps all over. You must be all pecan crunch underneath the chocolate.
Yes, for you, Charlie Krasmeyer, and thousands of ice cream men like you, courage is not a sometime thing, and a tin ear helps.
Salute you men in white coats. You're a brave and gallant bunch. You stand for right and liberty, to say nothing of pecan crunch.
Thank you. Well, we hope you enjoyed our stirring documentary tonight, Uninterrupted Melody.
September 1st, 1957, Stan Freberg on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station. Now more of the Stan Freberg Show, September 1st, 1957.
Once again, it's time to meet our panel of experts who are back with us tonight as we ran over 2 weeks ago and we did not finish our discussion. I'm glad that you could be back with us, Dr. Linus Coit.
Thank you. It's nice being back.
Mr. G.L. Spoon.
Good evening, friends in Radioland.
And finally, Mrs. Edna St. Louis, Missouri.
The pleasure's all mine. Although it does seem to me I got second billing last time.
Yes.
After all, I do have a master's degree in Tarzan.
Yes, indeed, Miss Missouri. Well, be that it may, we're not going to bring up tonight any of the other things we discussed 2 weeks ago. For example, whether or not Often Annie has one red dress and one pair of long white cotton stockings that she washes daily and wears over and over, or many red dresses and many white cotton stockings.
I know that one.
Oh, Doctor, I know you do. I know you do, but
I do know that answer.
Yes, I know you do, but we won't go into that, shall
I didn't get a doctor's degree in Little Orphan Annie for nothing.
Yes, well,
Boy, you know, this guy's really got the rub in that doctor's degree.
Yeah, well, shall we move ahead to other questions tonight? But we promised. Yeah, I know we did. Now, shall we? Well, you promised. Now, you promised. You gave me your word out in the hall before we went on the air that we wouldn't have any kind of discussion.
Yes, that's absolutely
Oh,
true.
thank you.
Let's pass the peace pipe here, for goodness sake. Yes. Now, I've received my master's degree in Tarzan, and you insulted the ideal of my life when you said Tarzan was 72 years old and wore a hairpiece.
Well, it does. I'll apologize if Mr. Spoon will.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, well, okay, look, I'm sorry. I'll take back what I said about Tarzan's hairpiece. If you will apologize publicly for calling Dick Tracy a big jerk. Listen, Tracy happens to be, and the biographers will agree, one of the greatest living American heroes. And he's just recovering from a severe head wound as well.
I'm terribly sorry. I apologize.
Oh, yes, indeed. Aren't we getting along famously here tonight?
Well, it's very nice of you. It's very nice. And believe me, Miss Missouri, I didn't mean to insult Tarzan. Between you and I...
between you and me, Mr.
Ooh, that education.
It's rather nice of her to do that to you.
Between you and I, he's a great ape man, and truthfully, if you didn't get right up there on the newspaper with a magnifying glass, you couldn't tell he wears a wig.
Wears a wig?
Yeah, he does wear a wig.
You should have as much hair on your bare skin rug.
Well, I don't think it's
Now, please, people, shall we simmer down and shall we? Promise out in the hall, no more discussion.
Put us on slow, boy.
Yes, sorry. Now we'll go to our first question tonight. It's in Dick Tracy. Now, this is the question: does or does not Junior wear a fright wig?
Well, the answer to that has to be negative. It's the boy's own hair, and it certainly doesn't take Dick Tracy to figure out where that question came from, Miss Missouri.
I beg your pardon. Mr. Spoon, I had nothing to do with that question.
Oh, no, those questions...
People,
I told him,
send
Mr.
in.
Here, I have a few minutes. I have something to say. Listen, people.
Yes.
Be that as it may, it is a fright wig on the boy.
It is not a fright wig on the boy.
It's a fright wig.
It is not. It's the same hair that any 12-year-old boy will wear.
12-year-old boy?
12-year-old.
Why, he's older than Little Orphan Annie.
I take that as a personal affront, madam.
White stockings.
So then, we've been all through this. If anybody should be drawing Social Security, it's you and Tarzan. This woman should look that good in white cotton stockings.
Please, watch.
Look, Junior,
yes,
the subject is Junior, right?
That's right.
He's a normal American boy that any mother would be proud to call her son. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's an artistic boy as well. How many boys do you know who could sketch pictures for the crime lab like he does?
Well,
don't make me sick to my stomach. You don't believe that kid really draws those pictures, do you? Oh boy! Listen, he's got a ghost artist, and if he does draw them, I could take that cigar of yours and draw a better picture with the ash. I could. Believe me, I could.
Gentlemen, we are having just a little bit of fun at the round table tonight, aren't we?
Oh, it's lots of fun.
I'd like to say it's Sandy.
Sandy, that idiot animal.
Please.
How would you like me to punch you in that big, fat, uneducated nose?
Now, let's move on to the next subject now, shall we?
All right.
Now, could or could not Buck Rogers beat Flash Gordon in a ray gun fight?
Tarzan could make monkeys out of both of them.
Take him against Punjab and Mr. Am with his disintegrator cane, and it'd be a one-sided affair, I'll tell you that.
Now, listen, I happen to live by the Dick Tracy Code, and we're here to stop ray gun fights, not to encourage them. If you're talking about a showdown in self-defense, Tracy can wipe up Rogers, Gordon, Punjab, Sandy, and the antique ape man, and he can do it with Kardui under one arm and a bandaged head.
Why, you viper! You are a viper! Listen, I'll thank you. Please leave.
No, just a minute. Not down, Sandy, down. Well, once again, that concludes another chapter of Face the Front. Sandy, down, Sandy. First of all, it's good night to Mr. G.L. Spoon.
If someone shoots you in the chest, extract the bullet and look for small telltale bore markings on the slug, and then call a doctor. That's Crime Stopper.
Yes, and it's good night to Dr. Linus Coit.
Leaping lizards. Some folks don't realize just how lucky they are until some other folks shows them how much they've got. Little Orphan Annie, King Feature Syndicate, 1947.
And finally, our Tarzan expert, Miss Edna St. Louis, Missouri. Come down off the curtain there now. Here, now help her off the curtain.
Unladylike thing to do.
That isn't it.
From September 1st, 1957, the Stan Freberg Show here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these messages.
Whether you're taking your pets on the road or a walk around the block, you need to be aware of heat stroke. Hi, I am Dr. Jose Arce, immediate past president of the American Veterinary Medical Association. It's important that pets get out and enjoy the warm weather and fresh air, but here are some reminders to help keep your pets safe in the heat. Tune into the day's forecast to see how hot it will be. Limit exercise on hot days or schedule walks earlier or later on the day when it's cooler. If outside, stay on the grass instead of the hot pavement. Make sure your pet has unlimited fresh water and access to shade. Never leave your pet in a closed vehicle, and leave your pet at home in air conditioning when you go out. If you see signs of heat strokes in your pet, such as excessive panting, drooling, unsteadiness, or abnormal gum and tongue color, call your veterinarian or nearest emergency clinic. For more info on summer pet safety, visit avma.org. That's avma.org.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of the Stan Freberg Show, September 1st, 1957.
Well, so much for literature. We have received so many card and letter asking us to do St. George and the Dragonnet, to say nothing of countless phone call that we have decided to dig it out of the trunk tonight and dust it off. I'm very fortunate to have the two people who made the original record with me, June Foray and Dawes Butler, who also wrote it with me. Peter, if you please.
The legend you are about to hear is true. Only the needle should be changed to protect the record.
This is the countryside. My name is St. George. I'm a knight. Saturday, July 10th, 8:05 p.m. I was working out of the castle on the night watch when a call came in from the chief. A dragon had been devouring maidens. Homicide. My job, slay him. Call me, Chief?
Yeah, it's a dragon again, devouring maidens. The king's daughter may be next.
Mm-hmm. Got a lead?
No, nothing much to go on. Say, did you take that .45 automatic into the lab to have him check on it?
Yeah, you were right.
I was right?
Yeah, it was a gun. 8:22 p.m. I talked to one of the maidens who had almost been devoured.
Who are you?
I'm St. George, ma'am. Homicide, ma'am. I want to ask you a few questions, ma'am. I understand you were almost devoured by the man. Is that right, Dragon?
It was terrible. He breathed fire on me. He burned me already.
How can I be sure of that, ma'am?
Believe me, I got it straight from the dragon's mouth.
11:45 p.m. I rode over the King's Highway. I saw a man, stopped to talk to him. Pardon me, sir, could I talk for just a minute, sir?
Sure, I don't mind.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a knave.
Didn't I pick you up in a 903 last year for stealing tarts?
Yeah? So what, do you want to make a federal case out of it?
No, sir, we heard there was a dragon operating in this neighborhood. We just want to know if you've seen him.
Sure, I seen him.
Mm-hmm. Could you describe him for me?
What's to describe? You see one dragon, you seen them all.
Could you try and remember, sir, just for the record? We just want to get the facts.
Well, he was, he had orange polka dots.
Yes, sir?
Purple feet, breathing fire and smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And one big bloodshot eye right in the middle of his forehead, and like that.
Notice anything unusual about him?
No, he was just a run-of-the-mill dragon,
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. All right, you can go now.
Hey, by the way, how are you going to catch him?
I thought you'd never ask. A dragon net. 3:05 p.m. I was riding back into the courtyard to make my report to the lab. Then it happened. It was a dragon.
Hey, I'm the fire-breathing dragon. You must be St. George, right?
Yes, sir?
I see you got one of them new 45 caliber swords.
That's about the size of it.
You slay me.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about.
What do you mean?
I'm taking you in a 502. You figure it out.
What's the charge?
Devouring maidens out of season.
Out of season? You never pin that rap on me? Do you hear me, cop?
Yeah, I hear you. I got you in a 412, too.
A 412? What's a 412?
Overacting. Let's go.
On September the 5th, the dragon was tried and convicted. His fire was put out and his maiden-devouring license revoked. Maiden devouring out of season is punishable by a term of not less than 50 or more than 300 years.
Thank you very much. We're a little folks, so good night late. We're a little good night, so folks late. We're a little, well, never mind. Until next week, this is Stan Freberg saying thanks for listening. God bless you and good night.
September 1st, 1957, The Stan Freberg Show on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of the soap opera Claudia. This episode originally broadcast September 1st, 1948.
And now, Claudia.
Claudia, eat your breakfast.
I'm not hungry, Mama.
That doesn't matter. Eat your breakfast. You can't expect to do a whole day's work on half a glass of orange juice.
Oh, all right.
Ah, this is music to my ears. It's lovely to see the breakfast table turned on my esteemed wife.
You have no loyalty.
Claudia, eat your breakfast.
Rehearsing in a play isn't work like being an architect, my esteeming husband.
Eat your steaming toast.
Oh, honestly. You'd think if I'm old enough to have had a baby and be in a professional play, too, I'd be old enough not to eat my toast.
They have nothing to do with each other.
What time do you have to be at the theater?
Not for a couple of hours. They're doing a part in the second act I'm not in.
That must hurt you.
The play just falls apart at that point. The minute I walk off the stage, poof, No play.
I'll tell it to the author, Whiff and Poof.
That poor author, you know his hair is turning gray right before my eyes.
Mm-hmm. He and I have an awful lot in common.
Why didn't you sleep late if you don't have to go to the theater yet?
Because I woke up. Because I wasn't sleepy. Because I want to play with my son for a change. He's going to forget he has a mother.
He's going to get along fine without one.
My point exactly,
Now,
Mrs.
seriously, darling, you ought to get more rest. Or by opening night, I'll be a wreck. This pace is wearing me thin.
Sissy. These next 2 hours, David, we're going to forget about the theater.
Oh?
We're going to enjoy your vacation.
My vacation is getting along fine, thank you.
You and my son. I'm starting to get positively unwanted.
Claudia, eat your breakfast.
Oh, Mama, you see everything. Can't I even hide a little piece of toast under an empty eggshell?
Those are the same tricks I used to think were so clever, so you can't fool me with them.
Oh, I wonder who that is.
Probably Jim Varney canceling your 2 hours vacation.
I'll murder him.
I'll answer and tell him to go to blazes.
David, if you do... David, you won't, will you? Listen, I'll answer the phone.
Sit still.
Why does everything have to happen at once? David gets his vacation and I'm in a play.
Little girls who want their cake and want to eat it too end up with a stomachache.
I'm having a wonderful time. I just hope David doesn't feel neglected. Say, Mama, he hasn't said anything, has he?
He may have whispered something into an ear of corn, but he hasn't said anything into mine.
But then David wouldn't, would he? If more actresses had a husband like mine, there'd be fewer actresses, I guess.
That makes sense.
For you, darling.
Is it Jim Varney?
If it is, his voice is changing. It sounded like a woman to me.
Oh, I know a woman?
Well, you better go talk to her and find out. She wouldn't tell me who she was.
David, don't you dare leave the house. Remember, these next 2 hours belong to us.
Answer the phone and make your dates later.
Hello, this is Mrs. Norton speaking.
Oh, Mrs. Norton, I'm so glad you're home. This is Mrs. Abercrombie speaking.
Mrs. Abercrombie?
I'm the society and theatrical editor of the Eastbrook Town Crier.
Oh, yes. Well, we have a subscription to it already.
I understand that you're playing a very important part in the next play down at the Summer Theater.
Well, it's not an important part. It's the ingenue.
Oh. Oh, you're so modest, and it's so wonderful to have one of our own people appearing in the theater. It's of great local interest.
It is?
Indeed. You'll make a celebrity of the whole town of Eastbrook.
Oh.
But I better tell you why I called. We go to press this afternoon for the issue that comes out on Monday, and your play opens Monday evening, doesn't it?
Yes, Labor Day night.
Well, I think it would be of enormous interest and possibly excellent for the theater, too, if we could run an interview with you for that issue of the Town Crier.
You mean an article about me?
Precisely. Now, if it isn't asking too much, and since the time is so short, and I only heard of it last night, could I run down to the car? And since I live just down the road from you, I'll be right over, and we can have a nice small chat together.
Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry. I can't
Well,
see
it'll
you
only
now,
take
but
a few minutes.
But I...
Oh, thank you so much for saying it's all right. I'll be right over. Goodbye.
Mrs. Abercrombie... Oh, drat.
Who was it, darling?
Oh, honestly. Nobody we know.
The world is certainly full of that kind of people.
Was it Mrs. Abercrombie who lives a little ways down the road?
What does she want?
Oh, honestly, such foolish nonsense. Can you imagine? She wants to interview me.
You?
She says I'm local interest.
Ha, ha, ha.
Isn't it a joke? She writes a column or something for the local paper. She thinks the readers will be interested.
What will they think of next?
I should have told her not to come. It's a lot of rubbish. David, our 2 hours.
Oh, she won't take that long.
Well, she better not. What'd she want to interview me for, anyway? The most interesting things about me aren't me at all.
Some people is crazy.
Mrs. Brown, you're talking about the woman I love.
Mr. Norton, I'm talking about Mrs. Abercrombie.
I agree with Mama. I hope she isn't going to ask me a lot of questions.
Claudia, don't forget, she's interviewing you, not you her.
And I wish she weren't. I don't see why, all of a sudden, just because I'm in a play, I have to be in a newspaper, too.
You are a victim of your public.
You better get accustomed to this public life. From now on, you're no longer your own master.
Now on, I must live like as if in a goldfish bowl.
I hope she doesn't quote your grammar.
I still don't see why, if anybody wants to find out about us, they think they can walk in the house and just see for themselves.
I'll put a turnstile at the door.
Oh, there she is.
Smile, darling. Always smile.
Why doesn't she interview you?
Nobody's interested in me.
I am.
Claudia, answer the door. My nose isn't powdered.
Neither's mine.
Yours never is.
David, where are you going?
I'm beating a hasty retreat.
So am I.
You are cowards, both of you. Oh.
Your public calls. Keep them not waiting.
This is going to take exactly 2 minutes and no more. David, tell the baby I'll be up in 2 minutes.
Mrs. Norton, this is so nice of you.
Won't you come in?
Well, of course I will. That's what I came for. But do let me look around, my dear. Oh, you're so young, and this house is so sweet.
The house is much older.
You don't say. Oh, what a lovely setting. So simple and such good taste.
Well, won't you sit down?
Oh, I'm drinking it all in so I'll be able to convey it all to my readers.
You're sure they're interested?
One of our own citizens? Oh, yes, they'll be interested.
Seems amazing to me.
Is this your first part in a theatrical production?
Yes.
Oh, how sweet, and right here in Eastbrook where we can all come and see you. Now, sit right down, my dear, and tell me all about yourself.
Well, there's not
Have you always dreamt of being an actress? It's too thrilling. When I was young, I rather fancied myself the Maude Adams type.
Yes, I suppose.
And you're married, too.
Almost a year. We have a baby.
Combining marriage and a career. Oh, you modern girls, you manage everything so well.
Well, so far, I haven't had a chance.
When I was young, it was all I could do to manage my home and my children. I have 3, and now they're all grown up and flown the coop. And my poor late husband is dead, so I just had to busy myself.
Yes, of course.
And are you planning to go on with your career?
Well, I was planning
Oh, you're so sensible. Your feet right on the ground. I dare say you'll manage both very well. Are you going to have more children?
4 more.
Oh, my dear, isn't that... Did you say 4?
Yes, all boys. My husband's the type to have boys. He's an architect.
You mean architects can design their own children? Oh, well, my dear, this is too thrilling. I can't tell you how proud we Eastbrookers are to have you in our midst.
Now, look, Mrs. Abercrombie, do you really think it's necessary to print all this? I mean, Dave and I are fairly new here, and we wouldn't want people to think
you're going to be very prominent citizens. Oh, yes. I understand your husband is designing the new school building.
Well, he's drawing up the plans now. He's terribly talented.
And he has delicious taste in wives.
Well, if that's everything you want to know,
I won't take up a moment more of your time, but I do want to send the photographers over sometime today to take some pictures of your house and you with your baby and with your husband.
You want to take pictures, too? My husband wouldn't dream of
that. Your public, all your friends, though you may not even know them, are going to cry to know all about you. Now, we must have photographs.
Well...
Oh, you're delightful. Don't ever let anything change you, my dear.
Well, I'll try.
Oh, this house is just too charming, and what a setting. Oh, I wish I were young again. Well, it's been lovely, and you've been very kind to let me drop over and interview you, and it's been such an interesting interview. Oh, and just one thing I forgot.
Yes?
How old are you?
19.
A woman's never too young to be younger, is she? Oh. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta yourself.
Hey, has the dragon left?
Dragon? Are you talking about Mrs. Abercrombie?
I just saw her out the window, and I'm talking about Mrs. Abercrombie.
Well, I don't think that's a very nice way to talk, David. After all, she was sweet enough to come over here and interview me.
What?
Well, she didn't have to, did she? She was really very sweet.
Oh, adorable. I particularly liked her blue hair.
David, now you mustn't take this attitude towards people. Being interviewed is a very important part of any actress's career. You know, we have to face that now.
Come again?
Oh, and David, darling, the photographers are coming over this afternoon sometime. You will, shave before they come, won't you, darling?
I'll shave my entire skull, but I'll not pose for any pictures.
But, darling, a husband is, well, somewhat important, of great interest to an actress's fans. I don't know what you're so impatient about. You told me to be nice to Mrs. Abercrombie. It wasn't my idea to be in this play either, but now that I'm in it up to the hilt. And I must put up with the inconveniences and the publicity and...
But must I, too?
You know, I wonder if I should have my hair set before the photographers come.
I'll break your neck and you can have that set.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Your hair's good enough for me, so it's good enough for any old photographer.
Is it good enough for you, darling?
Well, it was until about 3 minutes ago.
David, you dope. Do you think this one little interview turned my head?
Well, it's such a light little head. Wouldn't take much to turn it.
The only direction it would ever turn in, darling, is yours. You know, I wish I'd said that to Mrs. Abercrombie.
Why don't you telephone her?
Maybe I should. Because during the interview, I didn't have a chance to tell her anything. She did all the talking, all of it.
Mm-hmm. Claudia, come here. Come here, young woman.
David, take that look out of your eye.
Come here.
Ouch! David! Hey, what are you doing, you?
I'm giving you something to tell Mrs. Abercrombie.
Oh.
Call her up and tell her your husband has just given you one whale of a spanking.
Oh, darling, you're so thoughtful.
How much a part of American daily life is the friendly red cooler that holds ice-cold Coca-Cola? You pause to enjoy Coke from the red cooler in stores, at sports events, at the movies, at clubs. Now, I'd like to call your attention to the fact that you have a white cooler for Coca-Cola in your very own kitchen. That's the family refrigerator. Keep plenty of Coke chilling in the refrigerator, and you can enjoy the pause that refreshes when you're working. You can offer refreshing hospitality to guests.
Oh, Mr. King, what a sweet person Claudia is.
We like her.
Oh, so clever, too. Our readers will just love reading about her.
Tell me, are you planning to see the play?
Oh, indeed, I am.
Well, then you could have saved yourself visiting Claudia at home.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, from tomorrow on, the theater will be more like home to Claudia than home itself.
Indeed?
Indeed. So come around then, Mrs. Abercrombie. Come around tomorrow, and you'll see why.
Well, yes, I'll do that. Goodbye, Mr. King.
Until then, so long. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir.
From September 1st, 1948, Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Would you do me a favor and thank this radio station and support their advertisers? It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. Now, if you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available on demand by going to my webpage at classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand. You can find a list of podcast sites that you can download the shows or stream them to your phone from. You can also learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can also contact me there. You can also find our social media links. And if you enjoy what we do, you can buy me a coffee. That Buy Me a Coffee money goes to help us acquire new, to us anyway, help us enlarge our collection of old-time radio shows. There are some collectors that have shows that we would like to get here for us to have for you on this radio station. That's at classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in, and tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.